Hi, welcome to Victor Canner Podcast. This is where we share stories, ideas, insights, and even science to help you live a flourishing life. Hello there, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. It's your boy Victor Counted, and today I wanted to talk about another amazing person that I think that we can learn something from his life and the impact he had in the people that follow him and also around the world. Because I think that everybody that I try to focus on or talk about, there's something that we can learn from their life. But this particular person, it's someone that I believe that holds a lot of influence in the world, particularly in Africa, where he's from, particularly within the Christian movement. Now, the reason why I'm also talking about him is also because I believe that he just had its birthday this week, last week, and I do want to just talk about him as a way of actually celebrating him, but also doing something as part of a celebration for the work that he's done and how he's impacted the people around him. And so it's no other than the Nigerian televangelist Chris Oyakhilome. And I do want us, as we turn into the story of Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, who I think is a prominent figure within global Christianity and a man whose influence extends across continents. And I think that we can learn about him. He is the head of a massive congregation and a network of that really spans across media, education, and even he's also a humanitarian. And I believe that Pastor Chris' approach to ministry, it's kind of multifaceted and far-reaching. And so let's kind of explore the dynamics of his global ministry and reach, and really the appeal of his message, and see what we can learn from him. Now, first, I think let's talk about the early beginnings, because I think that Pastor Chris founded Christ Embassy in Nigeria, which had grown to have millions of followers worldwide. In fact, his ministry emphasizes the power of the Holy Spirit and the belief in health and prosperity for believers, which of course align with the world of faith movement. And it's important that I make a note, because it's not surprising that he was emphasizing the belief in health and prosperity for believers, given the place that he was born. He was born in Nigeria and probably saw a lot of poverty, a lot of lack, and there was no adequate infrastructure in the hospitals to help with the health of people, to help with people that were sick, and systems were not set up for people to really flourish and prosper. And so it makes sense, growing in those kind of environment, for a young man to see that and want to have a hunger or have a calling to address those specific needs. So because oftentimes, people turn to religion or faith often when as a coping mechanism on one hand, and as a resource that they mobilize to address or meet or make meaning in the midst of the adverse situation or the lack that they face. So it makes sense that his emphasis was on health and prosperity for believers, Christian believers. And so his success really speaks to the psychological needs for hope and healing that resonate deeply with many people around the world. And so, but the way he went about doing this, I think, is fascinating, because Pastor Chris kind of harnessed media effectively to spread his teachings around the early 90s and towards the early 2000s. He was doing a lot of media teachings on television. He was making extensive use of television and even the internet and even print. He was also writing books. In fact, his use of media channels, it's really a testament to the psychological principle of the medium being it's really a testament to how he was able to reach across huge range of people, and became influential through his message, which reached a broad audience and enabled him to kind of establish a global presence. But we cannot talk about him and his work and ministry without talking about some of the controversies and critique. And like many public figures, Chris has also faced his share of controversies, particularly regarding his views of health and science. Also, there was a time that he was also heavily critiqued because of his relationship with another prominent pastor in Nigeria. I think it was T.D. Jakes. No, T.B. Joshua, I think. But it's important to consider the impact of his teachings on health and prosperity, the impact that it had, and also the critical discussions that kind of engender about about the role of faith in public health. As you would expect, believing in health and prosperity for believers, for Christian believers, of course, would come with its own fair share of criticism. But I think that through his inner city mission, Pastor Chris has made substantial contributions to social welfare, showing a commitment to the practical needs of the impoverished, which is kind of ironic in a sense, because it's like on one hand he believes in health and prosperity, but on the other hand he also has a practical way of also showing and helping people address those specific needs, especially within impoverished context. But this aspect of his ministry really, I believe, showcases the potential for faith-based organizations to effect tangible changes in communities, and which I think it's quite an accomplishment, and also quite celebratory in a sense. The fact that beyond just providing the gospel for people in this region, there are also practical ways to reach out to them. But I think that Pastor Chris Oyakhilome story is really a comparing narrative of faith, of the role of faith in the modern world, and in fact the ways in which religious beliefs intersect with contemporary issues. In fact, his life's work sort of prompts reflection on the power of conviction, right? And even the influence of media in spirituality, and most importantly, the responsibilities of leadership. And as we discuss Chris Oyakhilome, I believe that we examine not just the man, but really the larger complex of its ministry and influence. But most importantly, recognizing how that the interplay between faith, media, and society, which it's, I think, what his life and work kind of encapsulates. And so I think that his story provides insight into how global religious movements and one's personal convictions can help drive whatever vision that one has for their life. For you watching this, I don't know what vision that you have for your life, but I'm hoping that whatever conviction that you have, that you think about what would be relevant for you in your time. How can you make your dreams come true by utilizing the very tools that's available to you to spread your message? In our time today, I think media still plays a huge role. And I think that whatever you're doing, whatever mission or values that you want to communicate, you can communicate that using media. But at the same time, it has to start first from a mission statement. For Pastor Chris is a belief in the power of the Holy Spirit in helping, giving believers, providing healing, and also prosperity for the believers. And I don't know what your mission is and what your vision is and how you hope to communicate that. But in the meantime, I hope that you've enjoyed this. And also from this channel, do want to wish Pastor Chris a happy birthday celebration. I think it's been an inspiring figure for many people, including myself as well. And I do want to acknowledge him and say happy birthday to Pastor Chris. Bye for now.
Five, four, three, two, one, zero.